All right, so you're looking to really dive into this college basketball tournament bracket, huh? Well, you've come to the right place.
Yeah.
This is the Robin Dorr Show on Hashmark Sports.
We are ready for March Madness, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, and today we're going to cut through all the noise, and we're going to focus in on some of the most compelling first-round matchups and some potential upsets.
Oh, yeah, some bracket busters. You know, I got to have those bracket busters.
Yeah, and we're drawing from some expert analysis to help you guys understand, what to really watch for.
Yeah, that's right. And between the two of us, we've watched countless tournaments. You know, we've really kind of broken down the nuances of the game.
We really have.
And we're excited to share our insights with you.
Absolutely, and we've distilled some insights from a pretty detailed breakdown of the full NCAA tournament bracket. So forget about feeling overwhelmed by all the potential matchups and all that. We're going to be your guides through the bracket. We're going to point out those key players, those key team dynamics, and a few games that might just surprise you.
That's right.
Let's jump right in.
Let's get into it.
Let's start with the East region.
All right, let's dissect this East region and kick it off with Auburn versus Alabama.
Okay.
Now, it may not be, your classic tournament rivalry, in the vein of like a Duke, North Carolina or something like that.
Right.
But there's still plenty to unpack here for Auburn. The player that really makes this offense hum is Chad Baker-Mazara.
Yeah, he can really fill it up.
Oh, yeah. His ability to generate his own shot, consistently hit those contested three-pointers, it just stretches the opposing defenses, creates those valuable driving lanes for his teammates.
Yeah.
I gotta go with Auburn in this one, just based off that offensive firepower.
Yeah, I agree. Auburn's got that athleticism, that's the scoring punch that can really be tough to handle in a tournament setting.
Absolutely.
Okay, so moving on to Louisville against Creighton.
All right, Louisville-Creighton.
This is a very interesting contrast of styles.
It is.
Louisville's had a fantastic season.
They haven't
Built on, dynamic spacing. They get so many shooters involved off the screens and dribble penetration, forcing defenses into, constant rotations.
Absolutely.
And then they've got the speed and the shot making to really put points on the board. However, Creighton has a significant anchor in the middle. Ryan Kalkbrenner.
Oh, yeah.
His sheer size and ability to protect the paint can really disrupt those, quick, penetrating offenses.
Absolutely. Kalkbrenner's defensive presence is immense. He alters so many shots around the basket, forces teams to just adjust their entire offensive approach.
Wow.
So while Louisville has that, exciting offensive fluidity, I think Creighton's ability to control the paint and dictate the terms defensively gives them a slight edge. I'm predicting Creighton might just pull off a little bit of the upset here.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
You heard it here first, folks. Creighton, a little bit of an upset.
A little bit.
Okay, now let's look at Michigan versus UC San Diego.
All right. Michigan, UC San Diego.
What stands out here is Michigan's use of their two talented, small forward type players in a high ball screen action.
Interesting.
Because both of these guys are skilled playmakers and shooters. It puts immense pressure on the defense to decide who to switch or how to hedge, and often leads to these favorable mismatches that Michigan can exploit.
For sure.
And this isn't just a problem for UC San Diego. This could be a recurring issue for their opponents throughout the tournament.
Exactly. That kind of versatility at the forward spots is a real weapon in today's game. UC San Diego likely doesn't have the size or the defensive versatility to consistently guard those actions. I see Michigan's ability to, create those mismatches being the deciding factor leading to them advancing.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, so let's shift over to Texas A&M facing Yale.
All right, Texas A&M Yale.
Now, we all remember last year when Yale stunned Auburn.
Oh, yeah.
So they've proven that they can, handle these high-pressure tournament games.
Yeah.
However, Texas A&M brings a very different challenge.
Yeah, they do.
They're absolutely relentless on the offensive glass.
Absolutely.
They force a ton of turnovers with their aggressive defense. And they just have a knack for physically wearing down their opponents as the game goes on.
That's the key difference. While Yale has that, upset pedigree, Texas A&M's sheer physicality and relentless style of play is incredibly difficult to counter in the tournament. Their ability to generate second chance opportunities and disrupt opposing offenses with their pressure. It'll be too much for Yale to handle over 40 minutes. I've got Texas A&M moving on.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Then we have Ole Miss against North Carolina.
Ole Miss, North Carolina.
There was certainly a lot of discussion about North Carolina's seeding.
Oh, yeah. Are they out one enough?
And whether their resume was strong enough to warrant inclusion.
Yeah.
Ole Miss, on the other hand, has been a consistent team all season, showing impressive depth and a remarkable ability to take care of the ball. They have one of the lowest turnover rates in the country.
And that ball security is paramount against a team like North Carolina that thrives on transition opportunities. Ole Miss's depth allows them to withstand, foul trouble and maintain their intensity throughout the game. And while North Carolina has that, historical tournament success, there's still some lingering questions about their consistency.
Right.
I think Ole Miss's steady play and ability to control the ball could lead to them pulling off the upset.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
So moving along in the East, we have Iowa State squaring off against Longwood.
Iowa State Longwood.
Unfortunately for Longwood, they'll be without a key player in Keyshawn Gilbert,
Oh, no.
which is a significant blow to their offensive capabilities.
Yeah.
Iowa State is known for their incredibly physical and disruptive defense.
Mm-hmm.
But they also possess a half-court offense that, while perhaps not the most aesthetically pleasing,
Right.
is certainly effective at generating quality looks.
Yeah, losing a key offensive contributor like Gilbert at this stage of the season is incredibly difficult to overcome, especially against a team as defensively stout as Iowa State.
Yeah.
Iowa State's defensive intensity, it can suffocate opposing offenses, and without that key scoring threat for Longwood, I anticipate Iowa State will control this game from start to finish and advance comfortably.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, this is a first-round matchup I've circled on my bracket. Marquette versus New Mexico.
Ooh. Marquette, New Mexico. Yes.
This is shaping up to be an electrifying battle between two incredibly talented guards.
Yeah.
Marquette's Donovan Dent going up against New Mexico's Cam Jones.
Oh, man.
And Jones has been described as a player who can simply take over a game with his scoring and playmaking.
Mm-hmm.
This individual duel alone is worth tuning in for.
Absolutely. That guard play is going to be captivating. Both of those players have the ability to carry their teams offensively.
Yeah.
However, while New Mexico has that dynamic scoring threat in Jones, I believe Marquette, as a more complete team with strong contributions across the board, will ultimately have the edge in a tight, high-scoring affair.
Okay.
I'm predicting Marquette advances, but that game has serious upset potential if Jones gets hot.
Oh, for sure he can go off.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And finally, rounding out the East Region's first round, we have Michigan State facing Bryant.
Michigan State, Bryant.
Led by Phil Martelli Jr.
Interesting.
While Bryant has, earned their spot in the tournament, it's impossible to ignore the track record of Michigan State coach Tom Izzo in March Madness.
Tom Izzo.
And the consensus seems to be that this Michigan State team is his deepest and most talented squad since their last Final Four appearance.
Wow.
That's a pretty significant assessment heading into the tournament.
It is. Izzo's tournament pedigree is undeniable, and if this Spartans team lives up to that billing, Bryant faces a monumental challenge. That combination of coaching experience, depth, and high-level talent for Michigan State will likely be too much for Bryant to overcome in the opening round. I'm predicting Michigan State moves on. So, in the East, we've got Auburn-Creighton with a potential early shocker. Michigan-Texas A&M, Ole Miss, with another possible upset Iowa State-Marquette in a nail-biter, and Michigan State advancing.
All right, so we've broken down the East region pretty thoroughly here.
Yes, we have.
Now let's turn our attention to what the West region has in store for us.
All right, let's dive into the West region, starting with Florida against their to-be-determined opponent.
Okay.
Now, the analysis we've seen consistently points to Florida as one of the most well-rounded teams in the nation.
Right.
They seem to have all the pieces clicking at the right time, excelling on both ends of the floor.
Yeah.
Given that assessment of their overall completeness, I think their first-round matchup should be a straightforward victory.
I agree. A team that's performing at that high a level
Mm-hmm.
and demonstrating such balance usually handles their opening round opponent without too much drama.
Usually.
I'm expecting Florida to advance comfortably.
I completely agree.
Okay, so this next game in the West has serious upset potential written all over it.
Oh, boy.
UConn versus Oklahoma.
UConn, Oklahoma.
One area where UConn might be vulnerable, according to the scouting reports, is in defending quick, shifty guards who can penetrate.
Okay.
Oklahoma has a player in Jeremiah Fears who has drawn comparisons to Kyrie Irving because of his incredible ball handling skills and ability to create shots. If that comparison holds true, this could be a major problem for the defending champions.
It absolutely could if Fears possesses that kind of dynamic scoring ability and can consistently break down UConn's perimeter defense. It could open up everything for Oklahoma's offense. Knocking out the reigning champs in the very first round would be a seismic event, but Based on that potential matchup issue and the talent fears, I'm going to predict Oklahoma pulls off the big upset and sends UConn home early.
Wow, okay. That would certainly throw a wrench into a lot of brackets.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to Colorado State facing Memphis.
Colorado State,
A
Memphis.
significant concern for Memphis heading into the tournament is their tendency to turn the ball over,
Oh, yeah.
which is always a dangerous proposition in March.
Otherwise.
There's also uncertainty surrounding the availability of Tyrese Hunter.
Hmm.
On the other side, Colorado State boasts Neek Clifford,
Okay.
a versatile 6'6" forward who can score at all three levels.
Wow.
And presents a real mismatch problem for Memphis.
You're right. Ball security is absolutely crucial in the tournament. And if Memphis is struggling in that area and potentially missing a key player, it puts them at a significant disadvantage.
Yeah.
Clifford's size and scoring ability, sound like exactly the kind of player who can exploit those vulnerabilities. I see Colorado State capitalizing on those issues and advancing to the next round.
Gotcha. Okay. Next up, we have Maryland taking on Grand Canyon.
Maryland's in Grand Canyon.
There's a lot of positive buzz around this Maryland team. They've developed a real identity as a tough, defensive-minded unit.
Mm-hmm.
For Grand Canyon, all eyes will be on Derek Queen,
Okay.
who is being touted as a potential breakout star in this NCAA tournament due to his scoring prowess and athleticism.
That defensive toughness that Maryland has cultivated is always a valuable asset in the tournament.
Yeah.
While Derek Queen sounds like a very talented player who could certainly have some big moments, I think Maryland's overall team cohesion and that strong defensive identity will give them the edge in a hard-fought first-round game.
Yeah.
I'm predicting Maryland advances.
Okay, so now we have Missouri against Drake.
Missouri Drake.
And it seems like a lot of people are picking Drake in this matchup.
Yeah.
The reasons cited are their strong control of tempo, their ability to force turnovers, their effectiveness on the boards, and the leadership of Bennett Sturr. However, Missouri presents a compelling counterargument with their own fast pace, their physicality, their ability to generate turnovers, attack the offensive glass, and create scoring opportunities off the dribble.
Right.
This is a fascinating contrast in playing styles.
It is. It's a classic clash of styles.
Yeah.
Drake likes to dictate the pace and control the game, while Missouri wants to play more aggressively and, create chaos, while Drake has those clear strengths.
Mm-hmm.
I think Missouri's athleticism and ability to disrupt could be the deciding factors.
Yeah.
I'm going to go against the popular opinion and predict Missouri wins this one.
Wow, that's an intriguing upset pick.
It is. It is.
Okay, let's see how that one plays out.
We'll see.
Moving on, we have Texas Tech facing UNC Wilmington.
Texas Tech, UNC Wilmington.
The key here is that Texas Tech's offense runs heavily through JT Toppin,
Okay.
a talented player who was at New Mexico just last year.
Interesting.
Sounds like he's the focal point of their attack.
Having a go-to player like Toppin, especially one with his experience, can be a real advantage in the tournament. If Texas Tech is effectively utilizing his scoring and playmaking, that should be enough to secure a first-round victory over UNC Wilmington.
Texas Tech advancing.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Here's a matchup with a little extra historical flavor. Kansas against their to-be-determined opponent.
Kansas.
The connection between John Calipari and Bill Self
Oh, yeah.
from their time together at Kansas adds an interesting storyline.
For sure. For sure.
But ultimately, the expectation is that Kansas, led by the dominant presence of Hunter Dickinson, will advance.
That historical link is a nice narrative thread.
Yeah.
But ultimately, a team with the talent and experience of Kansas, especially with a force like Dickinson in the middle, should be able to handle their first-round opponent. I agree. I expect Kansas and Dickinson to move on.
Okay. And finally, in the West Region's first round, we have Omaha taking on St. John's.
Omaha, St. John's.
Omaha has had what many would consider a dream season just to get to this point.
That's right.
However, St. John's has been playing some exceptional basketball down the stretch, and Kadar Richmond has emerged as a crucial player for them,
Oh, yeah.
especially in late-game situations with his ability to operate in the high ball screen and get to the basket.
That late-season momentum for St. John's, combined with a player like Richmond who can take over in those critical moments, presents a significant challenge for a Cinderella team like Omaha.
Yeah.
As much as we love those underdog stories, I think St. John's recent strong play and Richmond's clutch abilities will see them advance to the next round. So in the West, we're looking at Florida, Oklahoma pulling off a massive upset against UConn, Colorado State, Maryland, Missouri with a potential surprise. Texas Tech, Kansas, and St. John's moving up the potential for bracket mayhem in that region looks pretty high.
Absolutely. We hope this deep dive has given you a much clearer picture of some of the pivotal first-round matchups and the potential for those unexpected results. Think about that contrast in styles between Louisville and Creighton in the East, or the real possibility of Jeremiah Fears disrupting UConn's title defense in the West.
It's going to be wild.
The beauty of the NCAA tournament is its inherent unpredictability.
Absolutely.
With so much talent and so many variables in play, the bracket rarely unfolds according to anyone's initial predictions.
That's right.
What first-round upset are you most expecting? Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the NCAA tournament. We'll be back with more analysis as the tournament progresses.